There we go.
Good day, loves.
Good day. How y'all doing?
Welcome back to the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. This is episode 66, and we are on Monday. So today is B Day, as you know. As you have been watching along, we follow the 5-prong healing system that we've created. We are Coach Tensi and
I'm Coach Soul.
of Ufulu Child, and the 5-prong healing system is the Freedom 5, which by applying these 5 elements, we are getting closer. You're getting closer to the vision of holistic freedom that you have for your life when it comes to holistic health, self-discovery, and all of those things. So B is the first thing. On Mondays we cover B, Tuesdays is cleanse, Wednesdays is fuel, Thursdays is move, and Fridays is shine. So those are the 5 in the 5-prong healing system.
Absolutely. And today, like you said, is B Day, and we're going to cover the top 3 misconceptions about meditation. So B, as a concept, is about beingness. Pardon me, your internal experience here on earth. Right? Your spiritual experience, your mental experience, your emotional experience. B encompasses how you are being and your being, your full being. So meditation being one of the tools that allows you to become more and more self-aware in regard to your being, in regard to how you are being, and all of that. Should be, discussed on B-Day a lot because it is the most popular as well as possibly the most potent tool for sober spiritual growth, at least in my view. And there's non-sober spiritual growth as well, but that could be
traumatic,
dangerous without guidance and support. Meditation, on the other hand, it's a little different. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the 3 biggest misconceptions about meditation. There's some myths surrounding meditation, and I'm specifically want to speak to the beginners in this episode. Right? There's a lot to learn as a beginner in meditation, and beginner doesn't mean that you've never meditated before today. Right? And it also doesn't mean that you've only meditated like once or twice. You could have, tried or succeeded at meditation many times and still be a beginner in meditation because maybe you haven't had a lot of guidance, and seen a lot of truth in regard to meditation. So if you've been doing something the improper way with the improper approach for years and years and years, you're still a beginner until a true master comes and shows you the way to advance yourself.
Yeah.
So,
before we get into this juice, I would love to invite you to really share this with a friend. This episode is so important, and I know that you can benefit from this just from hearing and receiving the messages that are coming in this particular episode where we're talking about these misconceptions. Whether you are an advanced meditator or a beginner, I feel like everyone could use some of these reminders. So share this with someone that you hold dear to you. Give this episode a like so that the algorithm knows to share this video far and wide, and put down in the comments your own experiences when it comes to meditation. We want to have a conversation with you in the comments too. So that's what I wanted to say before we got deep into the episode.
Nice.
Yeah.
So meditation is something that we both practice in our own capacities. I've been a meditation coach for about 7 or 8 years. Uh, I have over 100 pre-recorded meditations that I share with people. Um, there's a time in my life when I was not so serious about it, and then became a little bit more serious about it. Then went through suicidal depression, and came out of suicidal depression, and settled into this is now not only like a daily experience as in I meditate once a day for 15 minutes or anything like that. That does happen at night and in the morning, but the essence of meditation stays with me throughout the whole day, every day. And what is the essence of meditation?
Let's talk about it.
Well, to illustrate that, probably should tell you about my spiritual awakening a little bit. So back 3 homes ago, 2 apartments ago, uh, we got into listening to talks from Muji, as well as The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I was already into listening to lectures by Alan Watts. Alan Watts is a philosopher. Eckhart Tolle and Muji are both awakened human beings to what is generally referred to as the self or the true self. Not to be confused with sort of the New Age movement, self love movement, where that's talking about you as an individual, but the self as in another word for the creative force and the primordial beingness that gave birth to the idea that there could be an individual as well as the mind of the true consciousness, which cannot necessarily be defined in a whole lot of words and cannot be described. It's qualityless, propertyless, boundaryless, all of these things, shapeless.
And can I just break down like primordial, because
In a second, yeah, in a
wait,
second.
wait.
And this space that these awakened beings are able to tap into is it's not like God himself itself, right? It's not the whole of the all, but it's the corridor through which the seed of consciousness called the principle of I am uh, can manifest. So that which is beyond your personal sense of I, these people have awakened into. But if you wanted to break down the word primordial, that's fine.
Yeah. So primordial, you've probably heard it before, but something in me is kind of like glazes over the word because it's a bigger word and I don't really know all the time. I don't remember all the time what it exactly means. So it's kind of like I associate it with like something that's came before, that was the first. Um, so when we think of primordial, we can think of maybe like is it more so the essential, like the first energy, the first um, something that came before all other things? That's
primary
like
and primordial are very similar.
Word up.
Primordial is a very formal and kind of esoteric word that points to the same thing that primary does when used in the conversation of spiritual truth.
Boom shakalaka.
So primary, you can replace primordial with primary if that helps for understanding. It's not the exact same definition, but it's very close. Same thing.
Like the spiritual first.
So in our old home, listening to Muji, there was a moment. I was laying in the bed, and there was a moment when, and I'm trying to remember the exact words that he said, because he said something that triggered an awakening for me. I think it was I can't something regarding the fact that the body is inside of the mind and not the other way around, that the mind is not inside the body. And it unlocked for me the ability to see where I'm seeing from,
Like, have you ever experienced
which
that?
is an extremely rare, you probably haven't. It's an extremely rare experience because it takes the complete breakdown of what you believe to be yourself. And there's a big fear for most people in breaking that down. I just happen to not really have that fear at all.
Mhm.
So my awakening, he said something regarding the body mind relationship, and I was able to suddenly see, and I didn't even shift it because I was already always seeing from the same place. It's just I wasn't clear that I was seeing from there. I had believed, and it looked like for my whole life prior to that, that I was seeing from, my eyes, or seeing from my intentional thought, intentional thought place. But when he said that, and it triggered an awakening for me, I woke up out of that dream to realize that where I'm seeing from is actually beyond even the principle I am.
Mm.
And I was like looking at my hand and trying to come to terms with this realization, and felt excited and happy somehow. Tried to explain it to Tensi, and I was awake to a new, not even new to I was awake to the reality of my real, like, the place that I'm in, right? Which is not inside the body, which is not inside the bubble of the mind, which is not inside the boundary of emotions, and the essence, it is the essence of being and beingness.
Mm.
So I awakened to that, and was, after a few years, able to start guiding people through a method of discovering that place. Say all that to say, okay, that one of the well, I say all that to answer the question, what is the essence of being? So you got that. It's hard to, you can't really like define it as the essence of being is blank, but
In
through,
words, it's like an experience.
yeah, but through awakening to where you're seeing from, or where you're being from, if you will, um, you can come to that answer, and you can start to realize something about the art of meditation. So now let's dive into the actual content of this episode, which has to do with the top 3 misconceptions about meditation itself. So
Number 1, biggest misconception. We can sum it up in this core thought that says that I just keep trying to stop overthinking.
stop thinking.
Stop thinking. Just, yeah. So people believe that they need to stop thinking in order to really be succeeding at meditation. Like,
Mhm.
I did meditation well, woohoo. but that's not the case. And I want you to kind of expand on like the reality and explain some of the why that is, and some solutions, or maybe like a way to kind of
Yeah. So the
overcome
idea
that.
that you should stop thinking comes from the very real fact that when you advance in your meditation practice, when you get past a certain level, your thoughts stop on their own. So that does happen. The experience of no thoughts, which may seem like a very impossible thing, but it's not something that is consciously done or turned on like a light switch until way, way far in advance master level meditator is the reality. So it's fine that you may have thought that when you're meditating, you're supposed to stop thinking, but that's not the reality. In reality, um, especially as a beginner or even like a low level intermediary meditator, the essence or the art of meditation is about being aware of your thoughts from your essence, being aware of your thoughts from your true place of seeing, from your true place of sensing, being aware of your bodily sensations from your true place of being aware of your emotional movements and what's bubbling up emotionally from your true place, which is detached, or let's just say there's a space between yourself and your mind, emotions, and sensations. And so, um, in meditation, the art of it is learning to stay with, well, recognize and then stay with your real self.
Yeah, like meditation is a word that just points back to becoming familiar with something,
Mhm.
to become familiar with something, and the something is like medi is like
Your
kind of like in the
center.
middle. So becoming familiar with that balancing point within you, which happens to also be the more that you become familiar with that, the more that you see that it's also a part of all that exists. It's something that you can't quite put into words. It's like you can't really like see it with your eyes.
Mm.
It's you can't really touch it. It's outside of the senses that we're used to, but it is something that you can still sense and know it in your meditation practice. And that, getting to know that, is the most powerful thing that you can do, because it's like you're getting to know the creator. It's like you're getting to know the God in you. And that's really the essence of all spirituality. Like we're trying to find it. We're trying to connect to it. We're trying to plug into it. Like, like your cell phone charger, you try to plug it in,
Right.
power up with it. And when that's why meditation of the heart, like the style that you practice, is like so powerful to me, because it gets straight to that.
Yeah, and meditation of the heart, like she said, that the style of meditation that was born from studying people like Muji and studying the true self, as well as an experiential deep dive, over and over deep dive into the essence of my own self after awakening to what that is, doesn't use the imagination. So I don't uh, focus on like repeating a mantra in my head or out loud.
Or timing
Although,
your breaths.
although for some people, in order to sit still, that is supportive, and I don't tell people, not to try that. It's just if you come to me for guidance, I'm not going to tell you to do that personally. Um, Body scanning and stuff like that is good at the beginning of a meditation, but for me, after a while, you want to detach from this idea that you are like inside of your body or you are experiencing your body and that's the whole of your experience. or something like that. You are experiencing your body. I'm not saying you're not, but that's a very, very small part of your total experience. When you realize, when you awaken to your true self, you will see.
Yeah.
So meditation does not require you to stop thinking. The second very important misconception about meditation, especially for beginners, is that it is believed that meditation is going to make me feel better or make me feel relaxed,
Instantly.
instantly, or after my first try or something like this, right? And they feel like if they don't feel relaxed, or if it was hard, or if they come out of their meditation session feeling frustrated or something like this,
Like, oh,
that
I
it didn't
couldn't
work.
focus.
Yeah, if they feel, they think that if they feel that way, that it didn't work, that it's not working, that meditation, that they don't have the right mind for it, or something along these lines. But in fact, meditation is a practice very much like a sport is a practice, right? So archery, swimming, basketball.
Yoga.
Take a sport.
Yoga's not a sport.
Take a
But
sport,
you know
and
what I mean.
and that approach. You're not going to come out of a practice, right, feeling better all the time. In fact, as a beginner, you'll probably be quite frustrated often with, you'll have goals of where you want to eventually get to, and then you won't be meeting those goals instantaneously, because if life was that easy, it wouldn't be Earth. It's just not how things work on Earth. And so what meditation is it builds awareness and spiritual acumen over long span of time. And the practice is to come to know yourself, come to be familiar with your center, with your balance point, over the a long period of time, over due to your consistency. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, you come to know yourself due to your consistency, not due to how well you did in a single session.
Or how long you meditated for in a single session.
Exactly.
Not about that either.
And then lastly, people think that meditation is supposed to be done alone. That meditation for beginners is supposed to be done alone and by yourself. This is like the farthest thing from the truth. Any spiritual practice, when you're first getting into it, is to be done with guidance. Every spiritual practice, when you're first getting into it, is to be done with guidance. Guidance is key to honing your skills and to tracking your progress when you don't know a lot about what you're trying to achieve. And be honest with you have to be honest with yourself. How long have you been studying what meditation is all about before you started it? Right? Most people, you heard about it over and over. You heard the same thing about it over and over for years, never really looked into it, and just decided to try it one day. So you don't have a lot of times the information that would serve as guidance for you to do it yourself. But for some reason, with meditation, because there's no danger involved, people try and, let's say, go for it alone. They don't seek any guidance. And so,
Yeah, and I'm like, even if for those that are super intuitive and like you're like, I don't need no guide because I got this. You're still following that inner guide, right? So you're still following that inner guru. Maybe for those that have really over the years they have mastered, come to like a level of mastery in listening to the uh, the still quiet voice, as people put it, within them, that is connected to their spirituality, their spiritual practice, that connection to the greater, to the creator within. um Maybe they still feel like, I don't need a guide. What would you say to to that?
that you do, you're wrong.
And I would say you are also tapping into that guide. You know, you're
But I'd say you need a human guide, and you're just wrong.
mm,
And that's what I would say.
just stand on business.
Yeah. um, I'm trying to
Mhm.
suggest that unless you have reached a certain level of mastery and clarity, that you need guidance. Now, that doesn't mean somebody has to be in person in front of you. Guidance can be in the form of something that you read, or something that
Mm,
you listen to before or during meditation, something that you read or listen to after meditation or watch. Um, these things, they're fine. The internet is full of guidance, and I'm not saying the internet is not a viable guide. So,
mhm.
um, but seeking guidance and using um, guided meditation, whether it's apps, whether you find somebody like me and I send you a guided meditation, through your email, um, whatever it is, right? You definitely seek out guidance instead of trying to do something that's a practice all by yourself,
Mm,
right? Same thing with a sport. You need coaches, multiple coaches, to be a master at a sport, at any practice. So you need coaches, multiple coaches, or at least a coach for a very long time to be a master at this practice as well.
mm. Yeah, so in summary, when it comes to meditation, we got a few main takeaways. So let's just recap the three main misconceptions. Number one, they say meditation is about stopping thoughts. This is a limiting belief and it's a complete lie because it's about becoming familiar with the thoughts as opposed to trying to stop them.
Small edit is about becoming familiar with your true self,
With your true self.
not identifying with your
Oh,
thoughts.
that's a juicy little thing, little nuance right there.
Yeah.
Good day,
Second
loves.
misconception is
Mhm.
it will instantly bring you peace or instantly bring you happiness, or it's supposed to make you feel better.
Mm.
Just not true. It's a practice. And then third one, of course, it should be practiced alone. Not true at all. If
Get a
this
guide.
episode
Hmm.
was helpful to you, meet us in the comments. Tell us your stories about meditation, what you're trying, what you're interested in. If you need a coach, I'm your coach. You can hit us up with the link in our bio. Or you go on Instagram, hit the link in the bio, or you go to Facebook and hit the link on our
About.
about
Yeah.
section.
Or
It's
YouTube
just
in the
Linktree
description.
slash Ufulu Child, and you can sign up to be a coaching client of mine. And other than that, seek out guidance.
Yeah.
Seek out guidance. We'll see you guys tomorrow for Cleanse Day.
Take care, loves. See you
Peace.
soon.